Hey guys, today I'm going to go over my plant collection, or at least the succulent part of it. In the next couple of videos I'm going to be going over a collection and how they kind of group up together. So today will be succulents, then I'll do orchids, tropicals, pre-bonsai, and probably something just like generic houseplants. So I'll start off with the succulents today. My first plant is my big Jade Plant. So I have loads and loads of Jade Plant around the house. These are probably one of my favorites. They're extremely generic and you see everyone owning them, so it hurts me a little bit to say they're one of my favorites, but I really enjoy them. These are a little bit bigger. I think I got these as a plant themselves, but all the ones that are lower down in here are all cuttings from this plant that I just kind of put in, and they take root very easily. So probably when I repot this someday in the near future, I'll be able to pot all of those out as well. So along with the cuttings that are in that pot, I also have loads of other jade cuttings. Same deal, same plant, just whenever I would cut them off of other plants, I would pot them up and eventually put them into their own plants. Which would basically just be kind of like leaf cuttings that you trim off of main plants. And even this one that's just been sitting on my table for probably a couple months, you can see I actually have two little white roots. So that could be planted, but I have so many of them, and I'll be doing cutbacks and everything like that so often that I really don't pot up every single one I get. Here's another one of the jades that were probably just a cutting off at one point, and they look pretty cool. I like them. As of right now, I've got so many of them. I'm going to be training a lot of them into bonsai. They won't be close to finished product anytime soon, so it'll just be a lot of single stalk ones. I've got some that have 3 trunks or maybe group plantings. Now, along with the jades, I also have the type of jade. It's called elephant grass, or I've heard it called elephant bush as well. Basically jades, but with a lot smaller, finer leaves. I like these a whole lot, and I've got loads of them as well. They're all about this size though, nothing too big like that first jade. So I'm going to do some bonsai with them as well. Here's one of my jades that I put in a bonsai pot kind of as a grouping. It doesn't look like much now, but I kind of just put it in this pot as a neat planter, and I trim it every now and then, and maybe 10 years down the road it might look like something fun. But a cool little planter nonetheless. Alright, now I've got another succulent called baby toes. They kind of have like those hollow leaves that you see right there. They're not hollow, they just kind of indent. But these are really interesting as well. I've seen these actually in bonsai. It's a little bit more uncommon because they don't branch quite as well as like something like the jades or the elephant grass. Some years down the road, that might be its home in a bonsai pot. Moving on to some cactuses. This one's been growing one way towards the sun, so I need to switch it up. But it's really cool. I had the name on this, and it is Thimble Cactus, or I'm going to butcher the name, Mammillaria gracilis. It's a really cool cactus. All the spikes are kind of like this white, really fine needles, and they kind of like starfish out. I also have another cactus. This one is a Gemma Calicium. Yep. These ones are really cool. I usually don't go for the cactuses that are just like a ball, but I thought it'd be neat to have at least one in my collection. I like this one because it's almost got that like tomato discoloring down the center, and it does give me a really cool looking white flower. So when this flowers up, I'll probably do an update on this guy. This one, I'm just starting to kind of get into like the whole living stone. I made the same mistake that a lot of people made, overwatering them, kind of killing them with love. But this one's doing pretty well. It still has some of its old plant on it and it kind of grows out the center. You'll be able to see what I mean. This is last year's growth right here, and the new year's growth kind of goes up the middle and shoots out. So right where there's like a crease right here, the new plant next year will kind of, it'll shed this outer layer, and new plant will come up the center. Also have a really cool, I like this cactus a whole lot. It's called a Ming-Thing cactus, or a Sirius for Bessie. Really neat looking cactus, kind of all wonky and shoots out all different directions. I like this a whole lot. Now another cactus, I forget the name of it, but it's in the Euphorbia family. It's a really tall cactus. Really interesting how it leaves off the top. And it's got tons of new leaves all the way down it. Now I have seen pictures of these guys with branches out the side, and I have yet to get that. I would love to see that, I just haven't seen it yet. Now another one I have is called String of Pearls. This one, I'm trying not to break it because it's kind of already looking bad, but it's got this really cool, you can see why it's named String of Pearls. It kind of just hangs off the side. But as you can see up here, the main plant kind of died off up here, and I just left it because I saw a little bit of green growth, and that's the thing with succulents. Just because they look dead, if you see a little bit of green growth, either cut back on watering or water it just a little bit, and they usually prevail. So it's doing really, really well. This is just in the past maybe, just this summer's worth of growth that it really shot back for me. So I have it on a ledge right now, just kind of hanging off. And then I've got an aloe plant. A lot of people, this is common, I'm sure you know the aloe plants. It's got a little bit of burnt edges, but it will survive. I've got a whole bunch of these. I had a aloe that I took all apart and made into separate plantings, and this is just one of the really small ones. I've got some really big ones. And then last but certainly not least, I think it's the last one. Yeah. I picked this up. I don't think it's technically a succulent plant, but it's called a parachute plant. I wish I knew the real name of it. I don't think it's technically a succulent, but it's got the same leaves kind of as succulents. But it's really interesting. If you can see the flower, it flowers off and it gets this really cool looking parachute flower, and then when it's really big, you can almost see through the whole thing, and it looks like nothing's really holding off that top. And it's got them all over the place, and as it flowers, it really just fills up. It's really cool. I like it a lot. So I have it in this really big pot, and it will kind of just go on its own. So thanks for watching.